the brand new Volkswagen Transporter T7 Ford Custom. What is it? Ford or a Volkswagen? Does the Volkswagen owners have fear of owning a Ford? Do you as a Ford owner have fear of owning a Volkswagen? Is it a Ford? Is it a Volkswagen? Does that actually mean anything anymore, or are Ford and Volkswagen the same thing? Could they be the same? Why would they do that? Let me know what you think about the new Volkswagen Transporter, what you think about the Ford Custom, and what you think about them being in bed together. Volkswagen, Ford, who's the best? Volkswagen or Ford? Ford or Volkswagen? Hi, I'm Jeff from Sussex Installations. Today's video is about the brand new Volkswagen Transporter T7. We've been waiting for this for a long time. We're going to check it out. I'm going to see the security vulnerabilities of it. We're going to do some comparisons between the Volkswagen Transporter T7 and the Ford Custom, because basically the Volkswagen now shares the Ford platforms. So stay tuned. It's going to be a really important video. Let's see what are the similarities, what are the differences. Come and check it out. We're going to do a good look around outside and inside. So we're looking around the two vans, looking for differences, seeing what's different from the Volkswagen Transporter to the Ford. We know that the Volkswagen is now, it's a Ford. It's on a Ford chassis, but they have made some changes to differentiate it from the Ford Custom. So it is like their own sort of bit of styling on it. But I think it's only like really minimal styling. So the front wing is Volkswagen, the front bumper is Volkswagen, the bonnet is Volkswagen, the headlights are Volkswagen, but when you move on to like the other bits of the van, such as the door, it seems like the door is just the same as the Ford. It is the Ford Custom door, it is the Ford Custom bodywork. The lights on the rear, they are different, although it's the same sort of shape. It's just sort of minimal sort of styling difference between the Ford and the Volkswagen. The rear doors on the Volkswagen are basically the same as the Custom in like pretty much the whole door, except for an obvious point, the Volkswagen badge, which is here on the left door, and there's a recess there for it. On the right door, the Ford has a badge around here, which has a recess on it. Looking at the rear bumper, I don't know if that's actually different or not. I think that's actually the same, which is a surprise because you think that'd be an easy thing to change and they would probably style it differently. Looking at the rear doors of the Custom here are the same, but it does have this swage line here, this like double bump that runs along here, which isn't in the Volkswagen, which adds up for a bit of extra style there, where it lines up on top of that light, where the Volkswagen doesn't have that line in the rear door. So basically the new Volkswagen Transporter, take off this, chuck it away, and stick a Volkswagen badge on it. And it's, in essence, it's probably not the news that Volkswagen owners want to hear, but it is a Ford underneath. And it's a Volkswagen on top. So Volkswagen have added their own style to it. In a few of the places, like on the bodywork where they can change the styling, but I guess in essence, like the running gear is a Ford. There are cosmetic changes, different software for the computer, some different tweaks, things, but in essence, like underneath, like it is the Ford Custom. So I don't know how Volkswagen owners are going to get their head around this, in essence sort of owning a Ford, because I feel like, I don't know, they've always owned vans that you would feel is better than a Ford. Like your Volkswagen Transporter has never been a Ford Transit. I'm sure most Volkswagen owners have prided themselves on that fact. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the Ford Transit, or there ever was anything wrong with the Ford Transit, but I feel like it's going to be difficult for the Volkswagen owners to get their heads around, because, you know, like it's kind of like this Volkswagen club, you know, like this van is sort of like, it's more like a car. It's sort of like more better than a van. And I mean, let's face it, Volkswagen owners are, I don't know how I can say this without offending anyone, but maybe a little bit fussy. How will you guys get on with some little quirks like from Ford, which were not perhaps perfect or not ideal? I know this, I've had this Ford Custom for like a year and a half now, and even get it from the factory. You know what, the quality control it wasn't the best. Like doors kind of a bit misaligned, like bumping the bodywork as the door closed on the side load door. Looking underneath here, there's sort of no plastic under the wheel trim, and you've got like this sort of exposed like wiring plug. And I know, I'm sure the Volkswagen owners will be thinking, like, I'm sure they're thinking when we get a Volkswagen, it'll be better than that, you know, it'll be better quality control. And there is something, there is a bit of plastic under there, but like, it doesn't cover them wiring connectors. So like, how much extra quality is there? You know, is there actually any better quality control with the Volkswagen than with the Ford? The alignment of the body panels, if everything's not completely like square, you know, looking at like a front bumper perhaps that doesn't quite, you know, I don't know, that might stick out a little bit. In the Volkswagen world, like, can people get their heads around that sort of thing? You know, that if an alignment of the panel isn't brilliant. That's my custom. I mean, it is, yeah, it's not great, is it? So looking inside, you know, the dashboard in essence is the same, but I think there's like some small changes. I mean, this is a different texture to the Ford one, although like in terms of like looking at like alignment and stuff, you know, I guess it all comes from, well, I'm presuming it all comes out the same factory or with the same sort of quality control. Looking from inside the cockpit here, same sort of setup as the Custom, which I actually love this huge display. It's really good. You stick it in reverse, and the reverse camera is like really nice, nice large view. This one's got the bird's eye view on it, which I don't have on my Custom anyway, which is nice to see all the way around the sides of the van. I can see that it's got a USB slot up in the top here, I guess for charging for plugging a witness camera in, which is nice. And the cockpit does look and does feel good. I'm sure it's all packed with all the same sort of electric features and all the alarms and all the overspeed warnings and stuff as the Ford Custom, which can be a little bit frustrating, though some of them driver aids. But at the same time as well, I guess we've also got to love some of the driver aids in terms of reversing cameras and parking sensors and all them kind of things are really useful. I actually really love the like adaptive cruise control now. It's pretty epic actually, and it's hard to sort of think how we live without these things now. So just looking around my Custom for the Ford badges, the Ford on that latch. There's a Ford on that battery. This wiring loom has this FOMOCO, like Ford Motor Company on the windscreen. Ford, LED, Ford on the windows. Has got a Volkswagen badge by the chassis number. We've obviously got the Volkswagen badge here. This one doesn't have a Ford badge, it's got this FOMOCO. And the wiring looms, again, have got this FOMOCO. The battery actually says Ford Work GmbH. Oh, but that sticker, like the branding sticker, has got that FOMOCO on it. So as we look around, there are Ford badges on this. There's not many Volkswagen badges on it. FOMOCO. FOMOCO. We've got a Volkswagen badge on the steering wheel.
If you look there, you see that's the Ford sign on that sticker.
Oh yeah, and that wiring loom sticker. It's actually got the Ford badge on. Ford badge on that one. Looking at the gearbox, it looks like that FOMOCO. Yeah, so looking at the vans, as far as I understand it, like it was just too expensive for Volkswagen to create like a electric hybrid type engine for their vans alone, because their kind of market share, their sales are pretty low, I believe, as it goes in the marketplace. So to develop something that's eco-friendly, that's electric, is probably just too expensive, and that's why they kind of shared with the Ford platform. And it seems like what Ford have done is, like, Ford have got all their badges, Ford logos like everywhere, or in a lot of places on their vans. Volkswagen have got their logo in at least a few places on this van, but I guess they've sort of, Ford has switched in a lot of places. Instead of having Ford badges on the Volkswagen and on theirs, they've switched to this like FOMoCo, this FoMoCo. I mean, FOMO, what is that? I mean, I guess it's Ford Motor Company, but FOMO is like fear of missing out, right? But I think in this sense, it's fear of owning a Ford. It should be FOOF, fear of owning a Ford, which I think is what Volkswagen owners are going to have. And so to try and reduce that fear of owning a Ford for any Volkswagen owners who buys one of these new transporters, they've kind of reduced the obviousness of the Ford badges like all over the van by putting this FOMoCo.
Not everywhere.
But not everywhere. There definitely are Ford badges around it, and yeah, the FOMoCo, they've sort of put that in a lot of places also on the custom as well. So just looking over the custom van, and Ford, although they've got more Ford badges on the custom, they've kind of it seems like they've reduced their Ford badges in a way of making the parts generic between the Ford and the Volkswagen. So Ford on the battery, although I saw Ford on that, I saw the same Ford sticker on the other battery. I see a Ford sticker, then there's the same FOMoCo sticker, same sort of FOMoCo stickers on the wiring looms and on like the gearbox or on the engine parts as well. Difficult to see from here. There are places like here where it's got the Ford, specific Ford badge, and on the Volkswagen it's got the FOMoCo badge. But in essence, yeah, I guess although you're buying a Volkswagen, it's got a Volkswagen badge on it, at least in some places, it is a Ford in essence. So, and I see this FOMoCo, basically FOMO. To me, it stands for fear of owning a Ford. So if you've got fear of owning a Ford, I'd hate to say it, but it might not be for you. I think if you can't stomach the fact that you are, in essence, sort of buying a Ford, it might not be for you, or you might need a little bit more time to process the idea of it before getting one. But that being said, they're a lovely van. They look nice, they drive nice. Not sure completely about the build quality, whether that's really enough. Well, I don't think it's enough for Ford owners, but especially when you're spending £45,000 on a van for like a mid model. And I think the Volkswagen is a similar price to the Ford. I heard it might even be cheaper to buy a Volkswagen than a Ford, which that's probably going to annoy Volkswagen owners even more. But I guess it is a similar experience whether you're buying a Ford Custom or a Volkswagen Transporter T7. I have the Ford Custom. I've had it for a year and a half. Yeah, a couple of little like niggles with the build quality, but it is a lovely van. So my final thoughts between the two vans and what to take away from this video. They are shared. The brand new Volkswagen Transporter T7 and the Ford Custom from like 2024 onwards, because they've already had that model for like 18 months. They are basically the same van, but with some small changes. Was Volkswagen like above other vans? Was Volkswagen above the Ford Transit? Like, did it sit at a higher point? Does the two vans mean that if Volkswagen was higher, do the two vans being the same platform mean that Volkswagen has dropped its standard? Does it mean that Ford have raised its standard? Or was there never a difference in standards before between the Transporter and the Ford Transit? I feel like the Ford has had its place. Like the Ford Transit has been, it's had the market share. Like it's the most popular van in the market. It seems like it's very popular with tradesmen. It seems like it's very popular with people like maybe like doing like the motocross sports and stuff. I feel like the Volkswagen Transporter has had its place where it is the tradesman's van also, perhaps higher end, more expensive tradesman's van. But also it's seen a lot in like water sports and like as a recreational vehicle, and people having it as like a day van and stuff. So very interesting that they're sharing the same platform. And I mean, I was gobsmacked by it, in all honesty, when I heard that it was like the Ford sharing the Volkswagen platform. And I felt like it would turn out to be a Volkswagen underneath with a Ford badge. And then I was double shocked to find out that really it's actually like the Ford platform with the Volkswagen putting a badge on top of the Ford platform. So I don't know how I feel about it. How do you guys feel about it? And it's just this the new norm from now on, and it's just like this is the way forwards. Anyway, don't shoot the messenger. It's not my fault. I did not make your Volkswagen a Ford or your Ford a Volkswagen. I'm just having a look around it just as an interested person in this subject. Most importantly, if you own either the Volkswagen Transporter T7 or the Ford Transit Custom, check out our other video which is on the security of this van, and we're going to do a security upgrade in a separate video. Just because I've spent so long looking at the differences between the Custom and the Transporter that we kind of run out of time on this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. This way I can keep you up to date with the latest in-van security as things change. And please do give me a like for the video, it'd be much appreciated, and I will see you in the next video. Stay tuned to our channel, keep in touch with our channel, because Sussex Installations is where the magic happens. Thanks for watching.